What's good, superstars? Back with another Veve video. You got Superstar Joe. You got Superstar Rob in the building. How's it going, Rob?
Pretty good. You?
Not bad, not bad. I like the headset, not gonna lie. Back to the good old days, it seems like, with the old school cockpit headphones.
Do I sound like a cockpit though?
No, your microphone's on point today. Very happy about that. Guys, if you're new here, do not forget, become a superstar. Hit the subscribe button down below. Great things happening to superstars every single day. For example, today, went to McDonald's. Went there, no line in the drive-thru. Drove up to the microphone. They're like, sir, please come to the window. Got to the window. They gave me my order. I didn't even tell them what I wanted. Free on the house. McDonald's recognizing superstars. I'm telling you, it is crazy the juju that happens. And when you are a superstar VIP, the juju is even more crazy. You can just read our comments. I don't even got to tell you what happens. People are hitting all kinds of things on drops. Secret rares, ultra rare Vaders, 3 of them. Shout out to Mo Fresh. I mean, it is wild. Every single day we're getting DMs. This is what happened to me when I joined, and this is what happened to me. Crazy, crazy stuff. We had a couple people join in the last couple of days. You get a cool badge next to your name. That's the first thing. It's only $2.99 a month. You hit the join button underneath the video. Here's our wonderful VIPs. Guys, thank you very much for joining. We provide Excel sheets for the drops. We give you all our buys and sells. We do giveaways. We did mini brand giveaways. We're going to open another one up today to add to the collection, and whoever wins from the VIP has a chance to pick 5 from our set. Also, end of the month, it's coming up, Rob. In 4 days, on the 31st, we will be announcing the winner of a star in the universe. Basically, we're going to be naming a star in the universe after you. That is a wild, wild prize. So one of these people's names is going to be on a star. You're going to fly up in a spaceship one day in 2025 or 26, and you're going to see Abel Thomas on the star, flag in the star. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be wild.
There's some funny names there. I can't wait to do it. It's going to be jokes.
Yeah. NASA's going to be like, come on, guys.
Yes. Yeah.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Send us your pictures. Send us your videos. Practice your signature. So people, when you go out and they're like, oh, you posted on Superstar Money's video, they're gonna do that. So just get ready for that. You're just gonna have to prepare to be famous. That's what happens. Follow us on Veve app, Fastos number 6909. I will go in there. I will follow every single one of you back from that account. I do it about once a week, sometimes once every 2 weeks, but I do it. And when I do it, make sure your profile is public so that it will allow you.
It's funny you brought up McDonald's because there's literally no time of the day you can go without a lineup. And by the way, it got me through Vegas, and I have a new appreciation for McDonald's after going to White Castle. So I mean, I'll tell you that right now. It was McDonald's. I appreciated a lot more after some experiences I had.
There you go. So tomorrow we have a decent comic book. First appearance at Gambit, 20,000 mint run.
B rank. It's a B rank on Veve.
People like Gambit. And it's also like it's not as great. Like we've had first appearance of Mystique at 30,000. We've had a bunch of first appearances at 30,000. Yeah. So 20,000 probably worth it to go for the most part. But I don't know if the common uncommon will go above retail.
Here's the thing, though. We got that news about we're going to talk about it later about the Star Wars collection. So I don't know. I feel like right now gems are hard to come by. Obviously, the comic book guys are going to go for it. I don't know. You think? Do we have? Do you remember any other 20,000 B ranks? Is this the first one? That's a 20,000 B rank. It might be.
It might be. I think we've had 10,000. We haven't had like Kang was a 10,000. I think he has a rank B, right?
I think so. No, actually, he might even be. Yeah, I think he's a B on.
I think he's a B. Yeah. Avengers 8. So if this is a B and they're at 20,000, I don't know. I know Gambit's a big deal. People love him in the X-Men community, but I don't know. I still don't know if I'm going to go for the comic book drop, but I think that more people will go for this than a couple of the previous ones we've been getting.
That's for sure. And if you're watching, let us know below. Are you going for this drop? Because typically we get a pretty good sense of how a drop's going to go from you guys in the comments below.
We need the consultants in the comments. Let us know. Also, we got a big drop coming. We got Boba Fett. This was announced for Saturday. It's kind of weird to me that they announced it on the day of the KYC. I feel like if you wanted people to KYC, you put this out the day after. So people make sure that they do it in time for this drop.
Right.
I don't know. What do you think, Rob, about that?
I think you're right. I think it's kind of like the carrot, dangling the carrot over their head there to KYC right before it's time for a big drop. This is going to bring in a lot of people. When I saw this, I remember we were talking on the phone and I got the notification. I'm like, oh man, we got Boba Fett. So this is going to be for sure a must go for drop. I'm very excited for it. It's definitely going to sell out in seconds. Don't forget, I have an appointment actually around 10:30 that day. I will leave. I will set an alarm and I will leave my appointment to make sure that I go for this drop, because I cannot see this drop not doing well, regardless of the mint sizes. It's going to be something that people are going to want.
3 rarities. So you gotta assume it's gonna be something like Vader, 1 animated probably, and two stills. I tried to get as much information as I could today about Boba Fett and why it's a big deal. And apparently there's that stigma from him being, I guess, Vader's right-hand man or something like that. Didn't really have a story, and now they came out with the story, Book of Boba Fett. So there's a lot of hype behind him. I'm sure you know a little bit more.
He's great. Again, I'm not like a huge Star Wars junkie, but he has that historical presence in the movies, which people love. And now he has the current Book of Boba Fett on the Disney Plus series. So we love it when we see that future growth in a character and that currency. It brings us more eyes on the character and brings more value. And I must go for it.
Shout out Veve Vision with the GIF on the side there. That's actually pretty funny.
Nice.
Just trying to see if there's any other pictures, but pretty crazy. I mean, the gear's all banged up already. That's pretty cool as well. Looks like it's going to be decent quality. The Vader one was impeccable, so hopefully they keep it up with that. And the other thing I want to talk about today is shout out to Veve Magic and Silicon Secure for having an interview with Alex G. If you haven't seen it, go check it out, Veve Magic's channel, and go subscribe to her. It was posted yesterday, and basically the big takeaway from this, I think, was shout out to Sanjay asking a question through Veve Magic, asking Alex if they're going to be delisting collectibles from accounts that do not KYC, and he immediately said yes. So there's a lot of content today, I'm sure you've seen it, about delisting collectibles, delisting comics, whatever, people who aren't KYC'd. How's it going to affect the market? Rob, what do you think? And then I'll add on if I think any different.
Yeah, I think that my first sense is that the floors aren't being bought up right now. What makes us think that they're going to be bought up much higher? So part of me feels that if there is almost a superficial pump due to the delisting, of assuming that all the floor values right now are actually bought and people who aren't KYC'd, then the supply should shrink. And then naturally people think that if supply shrinks, then based on the same demand, then prices should go up. But then what if the people who are buying are also not able to buy now? So you might have a cancellation of the buyers and the sellers. I wouldn't just rush to assume that the market's going to pump. I think probably people naturally think that. I'm not as sold that that's going to actually be what happens. And I think that most likely what will happen is that there might be some FOMO. We've seen it happen before. If you get a narrative out there that the market's going to pump, people might start buying in, rushing it, and then we'll see that undercutting and we'll come right back to where we are. I think that's what's going to happen. How about you?
Yeah, I think what we're going to have, I don't think that you're going to lose every floor listing, because I don't think that every listing on the floor is a bot or is someone who's not KYC'd. I do think you're going to lose a bunch of listings that are in that area, because people right now are trying to get out before they can KYC, or some people can't even KYC. So they're trying to sell them to gems until maybe their region or maybe something allows them to KYC. The other thing that I think is going to happen is it's going to basically thin the floors rather than take away the floors. I think it's going to thin the floors. So it's going to take way less to move that floor up, because you're going to have bigger gaps in between the selling items. But that's just like initial, like you said. I think those gaps will fill and it'll come back down. It might take some time, but like you said, actually, you made a really good point that the people who you're taking away as sellers, you might be also taking away as buyers. So you're going to get some net difference. But the fact of the matter is, people who can KYC aren't buying these items at these prices. So you got to remember that when you FOMO next week, when you see things moving, because it takes only 3 buys on a Winnie the Pooh for it to go from 120 to 300. Remember that you weren't buying it at 120 now before this happened. So, and the only reason you're buying it is because of FOMO. And then when AF-15 comes out, or Boba Fett, when people are looking for gems for these types of things, like these types of grails or bigger items, they're going to say, oh yeah, I remember Pooh was selling for 120. I don't feel so bad selling it at that price. That's what people were doing last week, and I wasn't buying it then. So you know what I mean? I think you're absolutely right. I think we're going to end up back where we are. It might take some time to get there. I think you might You might be able to catch a FOMO wave if you really want to play a game. I don't recommend it, but
I definitely intend on participating in that FOMO wave if I see it happening. Yeah. There are collectibles that I'm looking to dish off, and I don't feel like it was the right time to sell them.
Yeah.
So if
selling your own stuff is different. I mean, to buy in to try and sell it, I wouldn't play that game because you don't know where it's going to stop.
Right. So there are collectibles that I definitely want to convert to gems, and if I do see that movement, and I personally think that there is opportunity if you are in my position and you want to get rid of collectibles to maybe take that wave now while it's here, so that you could get gems back to go after what you really want.
Yeah, we saw that with Eye of Agamotto. A little bit of hype pushed it from like 200 to, or actually I think it was like 150 to like 430 or 450.
Yeah,
and then now I think we're back in the 200 somewhere. So these things move really quickly on a little bit of news, and it's actually pretty wild how it happens. So I think once you see a little bit of, I think people are going to FOMO into a bunch of stuff next week. I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, when the people are tracking the supply all the time, and I wish that this market is just not efficient. It's just so inefficient. I don't feel like it necessarily follows that same principle because the market moves relative to each other. So if all the prices come up relative together, we're going to trade at an even more ridiculous multiple than we're trading at right now. Who's going to sustain that? The people who are left, and they can't sustain. They cannot. They're sustaining the floors that are there right now today.
Yeah.
So
you can buy it now if you want at these prices.
Right, on a downtrend. So let's just say everything moves up. It's going to have to be temporary because who's going to continue to sustain that? You'd have to have a really a huge drop in bot accounts and a huge drop in people who didn't KYC. Let's see what it's going to be. I'm sure there's going to be the data crunchers that are going to come out and let us know, hey, we used to have 600,000 wallets or 650,000 wallets. Because of KYC, we believe these are the ones that are now frozen. Now we're down to 300. If anything, Veve just got smaller. The smaller it is,
half your buying base.
The less money there is. So, I mean, again, I don't want to do the same thing like last time with that bull run where we were kind of telling people don't get caught in a pump and dump. But I have to just stay true to what I think. And I think you're on the same page that it might be short-lived if it does happen.
Yeah. The other thing I want to point out from this interview that was a highlight if you don't got time to watch the whole 2 hours, Alex G did say, and shout out to Ian Wright here for highlighting it, the 40 and below for collectibles will never see the light of day, he said. That's the exact words. So for whatever reason, they're being secured. They're never going to be given out, apparently. I don't know why they need so many for that type of thing, but it is what it is.
They must have some future plans. That'd be a cool speculation video, by the way. We should do one.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. What's your spec on the sub 40s? Apparently, they're not seeing the light of day, but maybe they'll see nighttime.
Yeah.
Who knows?
There you go.
Maybe they'd be rented. Maybe that's something that'll happen. Who knows? Because then point. They can maintain access and rent them out or something.
Great point. Yeah.
That's really I wanted to bring up the burn sheet from Putting Cheeks quickly. It looks like we have an increase again in gems. Albeit not so much. And if you actually look at column F, because we do not know how much is being cashed out, if you look at column F, there wasn't that many gems purchased. I think it's not up to date for the full 24 hours for today.
Yeah.
But exactly. Regardless, the last couple of days, we've been under 300,000 gems ever since we had these couple of days that were huge before that crypto shutdown.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We don't know what to believe yet. It's still a transitionary period. We're still waiting for the dust to settle on the MTL. And now we got this other layer with KYC for that to settle to see when the true amount of people are in the app and how it's going to go from there. Yeah. And then you get that bottom of users and you can build off of that. And you hope that Veve is able to maintain their user base.
I hope they can give us. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, which is kind of a good segue into today's video about retaining users.
Yeah. And I was just going to say, I would love to know how many users left because then we could figure out the gems in app, what they actually are, right? Because we know there are people cashing out. How do we know that? And that's what we're going to pull up right now. So I'll pull it up. Yeah. All right, here it is. Shout out, huge shout out, superstar, Bravos Assassin. Always crunching the wallets. Big supporter of the community by doing this, giving us the data that we can use to help make some insights and come up with some kind of, make some connections on what we think the future of Veve is going to hold. So like we said before, we don't know how much gems in app are coming out, so we have to rely on the gems being bought. But Brabos Assassin's tracking the wallets. He says that he can't really track the one wallets. We know that, I think it's just basic math, by the way. It's like you'll just take the total amount, which is like 650,000 on a MuScan, and just minus this 273, and that's how many ones there are, right?
Yeah,
so
like that.
Yeah, so we know that's how many wallets are in ones. But look at these numbers. I was shocked when I saw this. I was shocked because I expect Veve, if you remember, it wasn't too long ago, we did an exponential graph, right?
8 million by the end of the year.
Why?
Wait, did we say 8 million?
Yeah, we did a video that said why you're still very early in Veve, and we did a video with the numbers provided to us from them. Veve told us that they were growing at like 20,000 users a day. No mention of bots, no mention of anything. So we took that, we graphed it linearly, and we got 8 million. Okay, we backed off the exponential, we got 8 million. We're like, by the end of this year, there's gonna be 8 million users. Well, as of right now, we only have 273,000 wallets that actually have 2 or more collectibles. And what was shocking to me is that there was a drop in 400 collectibles in this range.
400 users.
400, yeah. So 400 wallets or users, whatever you want to call them, basically went from having 2 or more to now either 1 or none. And I thought that was shocking. What do you think?
I think this table shows a lot more than it looks like. The top half of the table is showing that you do have people still accumulating, getting larger sets, taking advantage of the dip, dollar cost averaging perhaps. And it looks like maybe you have like 500 people kind of joining the 100 plus club on this date or whatever. I don't know what's the range of days. I guess 28 days it says.
From 627.
Yeah.
I don't know if it yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
But then you have people who were sub 100 collectibles, basically to 10 collectibles, just completely selling off and getting rid of stuff. So a lot of these accounts that are cashing out and or downsizing to accumulate gems, we don't know if they cashed out. Maybe they're just accumulating gems for AF15. Maybe this is where they're getting their gems from, the people who aren't totally invested. Maybe they're new people who came into the app January, February, March, and they never really hit a grail. Now they're like, you know what, let me sell everything and accumulate and try and go for AF15, which has been heavily rumored. That could be some of the reason why we're seeing this sell-off in terms of number of collectibles. Maybe people are just getting fudded because they just see everything going down in price. They're like, let me sit in gems. So maybe that lower end, it's easier to sit in gems, easier to offload a lot of your things because you don't have as much. I don't know what the reason is, but it is clear here that from 10 to 49, we lost 1,173 wallets, which is a huge number to me. And I'm looking more at that than I am at the top half here, because that's just people accumulating and adding to their collection. So to me, I wouldn't even count that top half because those are people who are already in the app. I would be looking at how many people are actually leaving, and I wouldn't even be summing that column. I would say how many people are going from 10 to 49 to 9 or less. Right. Because to me, that's a bearish signal.
Now, he also said, though, that there was an increase on the side here, if you see it, of 14,381 wallets with 1. So there were new 1 wallets being created. Or
are they coming down from above? Going from having 10 to 1.
Right. I do think it's a little bit of they definitely got new users from Comic-Con, right? So there are some new users worked in there, but I think that what we can see is, it's great to have lots of number ones. That 14,000 increase in the number ones is great. But when we see a drop in the committed, like 10 to 49 were once committed people to Veve, where did they go? 1,100 of them, or 1,173 left. Where did they go? It looks like most of them went down to 1 or 0, then went up. Maybe it's just people who wanted to cash out.
I want to also point out that that's a great point that you made about that side. If you guys can see the tweet on the side there that Rob's mouse is on. There was a lot of speculation that we were getting 5,000, 7,000, 10,000 new users a day at Comic-Con. That's clearly not the case here. I think even if they downloaded the app, they must have not made accounts. If we've only gotten 14,000 in 28 days, there's no way we got 5,000 to 10,000 a day at Comic-Con. So that's definitely not a true number as far as this data is concerned, unless this data has an error somewhere. 14,000, it doesn't add up to have 5,000 to 10,000 a day at Comic-Con.
No. So then the question is, why did we not see a growth, and is there a reduction? And there's a couple reasons that we want to bring up here. So we've talked about this already extensively in our videos, but just as a continuous update, right? Here's Veve being searched worldwide. And as you can see, we actually had between July 17th and the 23rd, when then now between the 24th and the 30th, we're going back down now, starting to curve up. But we actually had a little bit of a bump, and now it's coming back down. But of course, relative to the days when people talk about Veve is going to pump again, nowhere near the level of interest and search in Google that there was once back in January and before. Also, this is following the NFT trend. Veve is going to follow the NFT trend. I think that if NFTs stay down, Veve is going to stay down. When NFTs pump, Veve is going to pump. Look at that downtrend worldwide. It just continuously drops. And now we're getting to one of the lowest points of interest in NFTs. That's
solely because of this macroeconomic. It must be people don't have funds to be investing into, I guess, more riskier assets at this time when they need money to pay their rent.
Yeah, agree totally. Yeah. So that's a really important number. And we wanted to bring this up for everyone because we talked about this last month when we started having discussions about why Comic-Con will not pump the Veve market. We talked a lot about the conditions, the macroeconomic conditions, and how it's going to relate to the NFT space and to ultimately Veve. Yeah. So look right here. I mean, we talked about this previously. July 28th, 2022, we are getting the next release. That is tomorrow from the BEA. And we're going to see the gross domestic product, which is governing, the recession. I'm sure it's going to come on the news tomorrow. But if you want to see with your own eyes, you can always come to this chart over here. And we're going to probably get that Q2 filled out, and we'll see exactly what it is. So I'm waiting to see what this release tells us. I think it's going to have some important information on the macroeconomic level. And I think that ultimately this will affect everyone on Veve in terms of their pricing of their collectibles. So, I mean, it's going to be fun to watch and see what happens.
This is definitely, if it's positive, you might see some actually good news for a lot of markets, not just Veve.
Yeah.
But if it's negative, I think I think a lot of this is priced in. A lot of people are expecting recession. I think it'll still hit a little bit, but I think people are expecting it to be more recession than not recession. And this again is something that Veve is not able to control. What they did at Comic-Con was great. They did a great thing for the community. They got on the stage with Marvel. They put their name out there so that when people are in a better place to be investing in more speculative investments, they hope that people recognize the name and say, oh yeah, I saw this at Comic-Con. And then they jump in, and it's a little bit of less of a barrier to entry. They've also come out with the MTL, which eliminates that barrier of entry. So they're getting this thing geared up for when it is time. We just don't think it's time yet because of all the things we've been talking about over the last few videos and everything. But what they're doing right now, it's still important, and it's good that they're getting it out the way, even if it is in a down market.
Yeah. And then this ties right back into like the big topic of the day, which is when the listings drop, right? What we just talked about earlier in the video. The listings are going to be removed for all the people who aren't KYC'd, but we're always going to have this overhanging everything in terms of the buying power to be able to clean up floors and actually pump the market. So that's why we were saying before, personally, I don't think that with the storm that we have brewing right now, we're going to have that huge interest. However, this is what I'm doing. It's not financial advice. If you are looking to dish off some collectibles, maybe there's some opportunity there to get a little bit more for it than you would have if you sold right this second. If you wait until that delisting moment. But we'll see.
The other thing is you're getting some banger drops during this time, which is good for anybody sticking around. You're going to get a Boba Fett drop, which is hopefully is going to be very sought after, just like the real life one. And if we do end up getting Amazing Fantasy 15, which we've been heavily teased on, what better time than during a down market, guys? So if you are in Veve, stick around because this might be a great opportunity to take advantage of some of this stuff, which maybe if we were in January, you wouldn't even be able to sniff it.
I agree. Veve, David, Dan, Veve, they are truly rewarding all the people who are here to stay, all the people who are committed to the project, who are collectors, who are people who believe in the team and want to be here for the long term. I really think they're truly rewarding them because you're right. If we did this in January, you'd have no chance of these collectibles if you didn't get one on the drop. At least you have somewhat of an opportunity to pick it up now. So this is when we talk about the accumulation phase, it truly is. It's a long-term accumulation phase. It's going to be a while, but as you stay in the project and you have an opportunity at some of these grails that are going to be well sought out in the future, especially with the advancements in the metaverse, I think a lot can happen. So
there's other things that we can build on now during this time as well. As a community, we could come together and even work with community-driven utility and a bunch of other stuff like that. So Rob's laughing because he knows tomorrow's a big video. We're going to have a lot to talk about when it comes to that type of stuff and some pretty important people on the channel. So if you want, make sure you have that bell notification on. You check out tomorrow's video. It's going to be a good topic about the future of this stuff. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, check it out. I can't wait for it. Tomorrow's going to be a fun video for sure. But I mean, before we do the giveaway, I just want to when we're on the topic, everything we talked about today, we want to hear from you guys. Let us know what you guys think about today's video. We want to know what you think about with the delistings of KYC, what's going to happen. And we also want to know what you think about this whole idea of the macroeconomic conditions and the negative 400 wallets from the 2 and above to either 1 or under. So we talked a lot about the data, the growth in the 1. We talked about the market. We talked about the Google Trends with Veve. A lot of these things, if you watch us a lot, we talk about this all the time because they're important data to track to help us understand the health of the market. Let us know what you guys think about the video below. And let's go for the drop tomorrow. Let's not forget that. I'm actually curious. First B rank, that's 20,000. Let us know below.
Is it going to go above retail? We didn't do the chart. Maybe you guys can tell us what your chart results are. If you're in the VIP, I want to know. Are you going for it? How many times?
Yep. Okay, Joe, let's open it.
So this is for the VIPs. It goes with this one, which we've already pulled.
The beast. There it is.
Oh,
yeah, there we go.
Superstar Mel got her aerial yesterday, and Superstar Kate gets the bell today.
That's it.
I guess we're going to have to pull 2 more so that they can keep these.
Yeah.
Just joking. But these are we're getting some pretty good ones right now.
We're actually getting good ones,
in the VIP giveaways there. So there you go.
It might be a tough pick between those and the golden telephone.
Ultra rare telephone.
Yeah.
This is wild, man. We got Captain America. We got many. It's crazy. It's crazy the things that we are pulling. It's that juju.
I really hope everybody has juju on the drop coming up and the drop on I think it's on Saturday with Boba Fett. So I hope the juju flows through everyone and the Superstar fam gets all the secret rares. There's 3 rarities. So of course, like always, thank you for watching us. And if you haven't already, smash the subscribe. Oh, wrong one. Smash the subscribe button. Become a superstar. Join the Superstar fam. Like we said, we asked you all those questions earlier. Let us know below what you guys think about the video, whether you agree with us or not. It doesn't matter. We want to hear from you. We love interacting with the community. And now you can also become a Superstar VIP. Get that cool symbol beside your name. You want to know if you should go for the drop? Grab the spreadsheet. You get a 5-hit spreadsheet. Type in all your projected price predictions, and you can figure out the probability of going for a number of hits on the drop. So check it out if you haven't already. If you join now, before it's too late, you might get a star named after you up there in the universe. So NASA approved. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun as well. Then of course you have the Disney mini giveaways and more to come. We want to bring you as much utility as possible. And don't forget our buys and sells is another one, right? We're going to be doing all our buys and sells every time.
Too many.
So those are all the things we're doing now and more to come. So thank you to all the current people who are VIPs for supporting us. And we will see you on the next one. Take care.
Love you. Bye.